Hello. Yeah, I've just decided to return to veganism again. I've been absent from it for a little while. I developed a bit of an eating disorder, a binge eating disorder, and I've been trying to go vegan numerous times since then. And yeah, I've been having a lot of anxiety, a lot of OCD around it. Not that that justifies not being vegan, it doesn't, absolutely not. And I've been vegetarian all throughout that time, and I've been vegetarian for 17 years, which is most of my life, actually, more than half of my life. And but I'm just trying to return to veganism now. Hopefully you'll be seeing more on that. But I've also rediscovered an old interest of mine and reclaimed an old, well, not really rediscovered, but I've gone back to an old interest of mine, which is vampires and goth stuff. Don't know if you can see my slightly chipped black nails there, but yes, and there is actually a real vampire subculture as well, which these people do not identify as fictional vampires. They realise that in general that fictional vampires are not real. So they're not fictional vampires. They're not like Count Dracula. Get that out of your head now, please. I think I've been going through an awakening as one of them. You have to be born one. You can't just be turned or anything like that, but it's a subculture of those who believe that they have usually often a physical need, but sometimes a spiritual or mental need, an innate need to feed on the energy of others via either their blood, which sanguinarian vampires, and there's lots of like ethics and teachings and safety things that they have to be aware of that, as well as in some places legal things as well. And so they don't just pick up somebody and attack them for their blood. You know, that would be assault or murder, and they'd be locked away. So but I'm a big supporter of the community, and yeah, the sanguinarian vampires, they drink from consenting donors, and that is the most important part. And also another important part for any sanguinarians out there watching this, you need to make sure you can do it safely. I mean, it's never going to be 100% safe. It's always going to be quite risky behaviour, but you do need to make sure that you're doing it as safely as possible. Make sure that your donor is tested properly and everything, if possible, and really prioritise safety. And yes, the other types of vampires included, there are magical vampires and other, you know, ones that feed on different types of energy and that as well, that believe in like feeding on magical energy. But the other main type is psychic or energy vampires, of which I believe that I am possibly awakening as one. I have a great deal of doubting about that, and that's making me quite anxious because yeah, I know this is going to offend some real vampires maybe somewhere out there, and I apologise in advance for this, but I do want to be one. I know it's not the same as the fictional vampires, but I want to identify as one because they are a main passion of mine, a real main passion of mine. I'm sorry for the not speaking properly here, but I experienced a lot of doubting because I've been bullied and gatekept by other members of the community online about it before, saying that I'm not a real vampire and everything, and I hope that I am. I may have to disable comments on this video in case, you know, in case there are difficult comments for me to deal with, any sort of bullying or anyone who doesn't believe in this stuff. But please do yourself a favour, look up Michelle Belanger, spelt with the last name spelt Belanger, and please also look up the Vampire Court of Dallas and the Vampire Court of Houston and support them. How this ties in with veganism is that I deal with a lot of conflict between these two identities, because obviously the energy or the blood is technically an animal product, and the predatory nature of vampires traditionally, but I also think there are some loopholes that some real vampires could be vegan, because if they're taking blood from or energy from a consenting donor, it's technically an animal product, but it doesn't involve exploitation or killing, or at least not intentional exploitation or killing. And yes, it's still using somebody else, but it's a requirement for them. It's not an option for them. So if they followed an otherwise completely vegan lifestyle and a plant-based diet, could they not be excused for that thing that they need to do to live? It's like if somebody needs to take animal-derived medication or something and they're otherwise vegan. It's a bit more of a grey area, I know I might be treading a fine line here, but it is more of a grey area for real vampires than it is for other people that just choose to have a burger or eat meat. And this is a conflict that I've been dealing with quite a lot, but I'm thinking of reaching out to the Vegan Society about this. I know they probably won't believe in the real vampire thing at all, but please, it's not just something I'm making up. It is not just a fantasy. It is a big part of their identity or our identity. It is quite a serious thing. It is a lifestyle and a subculture and a belief, almost like a pseudo-religious belief. And speaking of that, I'm actually going to try and brave reading this book, The Psychic Vampire Codex by Michel Belanger. And I say brave it because I'm really worried that there'll be some bits that might provoke some anxiety in me with regards to doubting as to whether I am a real vampire and everything. And but I just wanted to put this message out to support anyone who really wants to go vegan but is experiencing any kind of mental health issues or eating disorders or OCD or whatever, that it may make that difficult. I really wanted to reach out to support you and everything, and also I really wanted to reach out to any other real vampires out there that may be undergoing an awakening or something. And yeah, if you're going through anything like that, please contact me. I'd say if you're going through an awakening, try not to let the gatekeepers get to you. Try not to let the bullies get to you. If they don't know you, they don't get to decide on whether or not you are or aren't. And try not to let anyone get to you. Anyone, that is. And if you are undergoing an awakening, I would recommend joining the Ohio Pagan and Goth Alliance chat room group on Facebook. The person in charge of that is JP Veneer Peebles, and they are not only, or she is not only a real vampire, she's also autistic, and she's also an ally, I think. Yeah, she is an ally to the transgender community as well. And if you're undergoing a similar thing with the vegan thing, then please just drop a comment and I'll see if I can try to help you out. But yeah, I just wanted to do this video in support of the animals and veganism and the environment, of course, and also in support of vegans and people wanting to go vegan, especially those with mental health issues or eating disorders, and also really to support the real vampire community. Really to support the real vampire community as well. I'm hopefully going to start producing more and more videos now, regularly. But yeah, thank you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Peace.